Hello everyone, welcome to Delusion. I'm Sunshine. Today we're going to talk about a deeply poignant social phenomenon. Have you ever noticed an interesting irony in our era? It seems that the people who make us laugh the most are often those who live the hardest lives. You see them take a tumble on stage, get slapped by life, and you laugh uncontrollably. But if you zoom the camera out and take a look at their silhouette while they're backstage, removing their makeup, you might suddenly find yourself unable to laugh anymore. This art, which tears open the deepest scars in one's soul to show you, while still putting on an exaggerated funny face, carries a brutal kind of beauty. Now tell me, is it that we, as audiences, are too cold-blooded, or is this type of art inherently tinged with a tragic undertone? Why do we always seek comfort in the suffering of others? This way of blending life's triviality and humility into laughter, does it signify an escape from reality, or a tribute to ideals? Today's film discussion is about a movie that disguises itself with the humor style of Stephen Chow but contains a painfully raw portrayal of the soul of a small, ordinary man. It is one of the most significant autobiographical works from the late 1990s in Hong Kong cinema, King of Comedy. Speaking of King of Comedy, it was the box office champion of Hong Kong films in 1999. This movie held great significance for Stephen Chow, not just because he directed and starred in it, but because it was almost a true reflection of his own tough years before he became famous. Back then, Stephen Chow suffered plenty of cold stares and hardships. He worked as an extra at TVB for 6 years, and it's said that on set, he would haggle with directors for hours over just one extra line. This film was also Cecilia Cheung's screen debut. She was only 19 at the time. During her audition, Stephen Chow handed her a pen to act like she was smoking. Cecilia responded directly, "Can I just smoke for real instead?" That one sentence brought to life the character of Liu Piao Piao, world-weary yet innocent and enchanting. With directors Stephen Chow and Li Lixi working hand in hand, this seemingly absurd farce at the turn of the century gave a warm yet heart-wrenching dose of hope to all struggling young people. The story is set in a seaside community center. The protagonist, Wan Tin Chiu, is a devoted theater fanatic who spends his days studying Konstantin Stanislavski's, an actor's work like it's scripture. However, in real life, he's just an extra who can't even get a free lunch. He even obsesses over internal acting techniques for playing a dead body, only to get ridiculed and cursed out by directors. In the community, he runs an acting workshop to share his understanding of art but ends up attracting a bunch of troublemaking delinquents. Just when he's seemingly completely abandoned by the world, he meets Liu Piao Piao, a woman exuding a worldly air yet fragile and true at heart. As they teach each other acting, a subtle, delicate connection forms between them. In one seaside conversation under a tree, Liu Piao Piao asks what lies ahead in the darkness, and Wan Tin Chiu replies, "It will be beautiful when the sun rises." In that moment, it feels as if their souls found solace in the midst of darkness. Later, Wan Tin Chiu unexpectedly catches the attention of big star Du Wanner, appearing as though he might finally step into the spotlight and play a lead role. Even those who once belittled him begin to show him newfound respect. But at the peak of his career, he faces a pivotal choice between pursuing fame or returning home to Liu Piao Piao. Just as you think this is a cliched Cinderella and Prince story, the plot takes an unexpected turn. Wan Tin Chiu accidentally gets swept into a real undercover police operation. When he's holding a gun against a murderous villain, he realizes that life itself, unlike theater, demands no acting. It demands raw survival. Just when it seems like everything is about to be resolved, an entirely unexpected individual arrives with a shocking secret that pushes him to the edge of life and death. Let's start by breaking down the movie's deeply resonant theme, identity and dignity of the everyman. In the film, Wan Tin Chiu's most frequent line is, "Actually, I'm an actor." Even when the stage manager played by Ing Mantat insults him as worthless, even when he insists on method acting a charred corpse, he continuously protects this title of actor. From the director's perspective, Stephen Chow used an extensive number of close-up shots to capture Wan Tin Chiu's subtle expressions when being humiliated. You can see the forced but polite smile revealing an almost stubborn dignity beneath. This explores a deeply philosophical question: when the entire world labels you as worthless, do you still have the courage to define yourself as a genius? Don't we often face similar situations in our real lives? Maybe you're working on a project nobody believes in, or pursuing a dream that seems out of reach, and everyone around thinks you're wasting your time. At those moments, Won Tin-chiu's obsessiveness becomes particularly inspiring. He reminds us that dignity isn't handed to us, it's earned through unwavering belief in our profession and choices, almost like religious devotion. As long as you don't see yourself as just an extra, you'll always be the lead actor in your own life. This steadfast defense of identity is our last line of resistance against life's emptiness. Next, let's talk about that heartbreakingly beautiful love story, beneath which lies a tug-of-war between materialism and emotion. Lu Piao carries painful scars from memories of her first love. She stopped believing in romance, convinced men are only interested in her body. But when Won Tin-chiu, on a quiet morning, places all of his savings, including his loose change and his watch, neatly by the windowsill, this clumsy display of love pierces through Lu Piao's defenses. The famous line, "I'll take care of you," performed by Stephen Chow, is delivered in shadow. He can't even bear to look her in the eye because he knows he doesn't have the money to back it up. And Cecilia Cheung's tearful breakdown in the backseat of that taxi is a cinematic classic. Her tears are not tears of joy, but the collapse of immense grievances suddenly understood. This offers a healing revelation. Real love often blooms between individuals who fully acknowledge each other's flaws and vulnerabilities. In this society obsessed with appearance, wealth, and status, King of Comedy brutally reminds us that the greatest romance is not gifting 1,000 roses but sharing the little you have, a bowl of porridge, and taking responsibility for each other's lives. The sheer emotional weight of this love is enough to weather the harshness of life. Now let's dig into the highly debated undercover plotline. Many viewers feel this part doesn't fit with the earlier artistic tone. However, from the director's perspective, this is Chow's boldest narrative turn. He uses the undercover role to push the art of acting to the cliff edge of reality. In real life, performances don't get a second take. Failure can mean death. When confronted by the villain, Won Tin-chiu finally understands how powerless his textbook theories are in the face of real bloodshed. This delves into the philosophical question: can the art and ideals we pursue truly address the fundamental suffering of life? The film's answer is clear-minded. While ideals are beautiful, life is often illogical and brutal. Yet, Won Tin-chiu survives. He returns to the small community stage and to Lu Piao waiting for him. What does that tell us? It shows that even after seeing the harshest realities, even knowing you may never become a superstar, you can still rehearse your own life with earnestness. Life doesn't need you to win awards, it just needs you to stay steady and not mess up at the pivotal moments. Let's also explore the film's performance and character details. As a director, Stephen Chow's control over dynamic aesthetics is utterly masterful. When Won Tin-chiu and Lu Piao rehearse beneath the tree, their silhouette pays homage to classic silent films and Cantonese opera clips. This nostalgic composition, paired with exaggerated gestures, pushes an outdated aesthetic to extremes. The narrative trick is that first, this exaggerated humor lowers your defenses, and then the resulting loneliness abruptly hits, revealing poignant sorrow beneath the comedy. And from an acting perspective, Cecilia Cheung's balance between purity and allure is highly sophisticated. Her portrayal isn't about pretending to be pure. It's the feisty tenacity of someone weathered by life but still retaining a fragile innocence. Compared to the soft-focus eyes of Joey Wong, Cecilia uses expressive, slightly rough movements to highlight the raw sincerity of her character. Had a different actor pairing been cast, the love story of the extra and the dancer might have felt tawdry. But together, their chemistry radiates a unique, unpretentious purity. This is why, 30 years later, even with today's stunning special effects, this 1999 classic still resonates. It captures the trembling soul. Let's examine Stephen Chow's brilliant use of cinematography. Did you notice the film's generally somber color palette? Especially in Won Tin-chiu's cramped room, the oppressive lack of light reflects his bleak life. Yet once Lu Piao enters the frame, there's a diffused warmth in the lighting. This is quintessential visual storytelling, signaling that Lu Piao is the only light in Won Tin-chiu's darkness. and during their iconic treeside confession scene, the director opts for a wide shot, placing their tiny figures against the vast sea and sky. This image underscores the insignificance yet sanctity of two souls embracing against a cold, indifferent world. Such contrasts ignite a subconscious impulse to protect that beauty. Isn't this what we seek in theater or life, moments of eternity? As a director, Stephen Chow profoundly understands how spatial relationships amplify emotions. Don't we often feel intimidated by the world's enormity? Yet if you find someone to stand with you under the tree, even the coldest world can bring warmth. This is the comfort the film offers. From a societal perspective, 1999 followed Asia's financial crisis, leaving Hong Kong society riddled with uncertainty. The film's delinquents and even the downtrodden gangster Hung Ye echo broader societal realities. Everyone in the story is acting. Criminals pretend to be gangsters, dancers pose as innocent, actors feign death. It's an entire society in performance. Stephen Chow deftly exposes this absurdity through Wan Tin-chiu, a misfit who shatters those facades. When everyone treats life as a play, Wan Tin-chiu naively treats acting as his life. This misalignment creates biting satire. Who's truly pitiable, the starving dreamer or those who've sold their souls for survival yet flaunt superficial grandeur? Each viewer likely has their own answer. The film provides no standard solution but broadens the possibility. Even amid the most calculating age, you can choose to be earnest. Seriousness itself is strength. Lastly, let's discuss Ing Man Tat's portrayal of his role. Uncle Tat's character essentially serves as a godlike figure or the gatekeeper of harsh reality. He repeatedly deprives Wan Tin-chiu of his meal and humiliates him, a kind of spiritual tempering. Their tension-filled performance is brimming with intensity. Uncle Tat's relentlessness forces Wan Tin-chiu to uncover his deepest inner resolve. Under Hong Kong's cultural context, this mentor-student dynamic, or the clash between reality and idealism, is handled with remarkable nuance. Without Uncle Tat's cold realism, Wan Tin-chiu's perseverance would feel weightless. Because of this heavy societal pressure, his survival resonates deeply. Such thoughtful interpretation invites reflection. Are those who challenge, hurt, or demean us unintentionally helping define who we are? Should we be grateful for the pain that brings clarity? Within the memories of this movie, there are two lines I want to revisit with you. First is the iconic "I'll take care of you." In its context, this line signifies not only financial support but also spiritual acceptance. Spoken at the seaside at dawn, it carries an immeasurable weight, a destitute man's most precious promise. The second is Wan Tin-chiu's shout to the sea, "Strive. Fight." These four simple words, paired with his lonely yet steadfast figure, are practically a battle cry for all dreamers. Reflecting on these, the first is an outward declaration, while the second is an inward confession. Together, they form the foundation of the everyman's resilience amid chaos. Their dedication to dignity and their authenticity in emotion are why this film, 20 years later, still has the power to move us. After all this discussion, I wonder if you feel the same way. King of Comedy is like a self-portrait for each of us. We are all Wan Tin-chiu. We take on roles in our workplaces, endure grievances in life, and sometimes pretend to be unshakable heroes at home. But remember, even if your stage is tiny, even if everything ahead seems dark, don't give up on that handbook of an actor's work. It's the spark that keeps your soul alive. This episode explored Wan Tin-chiu's dignity as an extra, the extravagantly simple promise of "I'll take care of you," and the treacherous crossroads between idealism and reality. I hope these reflections offer the comfort of dawn after a dark sea. Life may still be far from sunrise, but as long as you're still standing, the light will eventually come. This film reminds us that the greatest comedies often come from souls brave enough to confront tragedy. If you have unique memories about this film, or if Stephen Chow's movies ever brought you solace during challenging times, please share with me in the comments. I read each and every one. If you found today's episode interesting, I'd appreciate it if you followed or subscribed. It's such an encouragement to me. That's all for this episode. Wishing you a good morning, afternoon, and evening. This is Delusion. See you next time.